I think this morning we're privileged, very, very privileged, to have a Justice of the Court of Appeal to come and address us. Justice Gertrude Torkornoo here. But she is someone who has been very interested in the construction law space for about 30 years now.
I'm here to share my thoughts and observations regarding key issues to consider in the formation and administration of construction and engineering contracts. Over the last 30 years, I've been part of the industry in this country, and it has become clear to me that the majority of the juicy projects do not go to local contractors, but to foreigners. So our economy has not grown on the back of those who will invest their money here, but in the hands of those who will take it away. The reason for this skewed state of affairs has been that local contractors do not have the expertise for complicated jobs. Quote, they do shoddy jobs. Quote, they do not invest in diligent records. And all sorts of unacceptable expressions. As unacceptable as these presentations have been, they have persisted for decades and they continue to persist. So this is why I would like to ask this gathering, must they continue to persist?
And so thank you very much for these thoughts. We will ponder over them, and then we will let them inspire us to do better. And so just talk on this year is our 10th anniversary, and to mark our 10th anniversary, we have these 10th anniversary marks, that we've made. So on behalf of all of us here, we're very, very grateful that each year, whenever we invite you, you come.
So I'm going to talk a little bit about change orders and dealing with claims under EPC contracts. So what is a variation? What is change? It can be many, many different things. The employer or the engineer might instruct the contractor to do something different. That's fairly obvious, the contractor's being asked to do something specifically. There may be changes made to drawings, and that's where parties need to be alert, because sometimes changes might be slipped in as a drawing evolves. And you need variations in contracts because people do change their mind, and an employer does need a certain degree of flexibility to make changes. And if you don't have a provision to make variations under the contract can actually fall away.
So this is a session just before lunch on understanding Chinese EPC contractors. I'm going to take you through a bit about who the major EPC contractors are, where they are, what they do, what their strategy is, how they work, and then look a bit in particular about how they deal with issues such as JVing, political risk, and have a bit of a focus on Africa. Language is, it's less of a problem than it was, but it still can be an issue. My experience is, right at the very top of the Chinese contractors, you'll get guys who are 60 odd, and unless they've studied abroad for a long period of time, or they've done a lot of work overseas, their English may not be incredible. Some of them still go around with translators, which doesn't help the efficiency of meetings or communications. In the middle managers, you'll find people with really good English. These are people like 30, 40, 40 to 50 maybe. They've got a lot of international experience under the belt, and they came up in a time where learning English was a big and important thing. Once you get to engineering teams, you get to people who are focused on the technical side. That's where I found the English language issues to have been the most serious. These are people who have dealt with drawings and numbers most of their educational life. They haven't really put that much effort into English. So that's sometimes where issues can arise, especially during the design review process. Now, in terms going back to claims and the submission of claims notices, we've all heard and understood from Jeremy that, especially under the FIDIC contracts, if you want to make a claim, you're going to have to send a preliminary notice within a specific period of time. The problem we found particularly in the past with Chinese contractors, is they're a bit worried about sending formal claims notices. To them, sending a claim is a bit like slapping an employer in the face. They don't really want to damage the relationship, or they want to do everything to protect that relationship, and they see claims as being a bit of a slap in the face.
Why it's particularly important when it comes in relation to EPC contracts, and particularly FIDIC contracts from the 2017 suite onwards, is because they mandate for the use of dispute boards. And over the last 6 months or so, the new CEO of FIDIC, Nelson Ogun-Shaken, has got a number of agreements with the World Bank and a number of the other development banks to encourage the use of the FIDIC 2017 form of contract. And the World Banks and FIDIC are going to promote and encourage the use of dispute boards on their contracts. So it's quite likely that over the next few years, those of you who are involved in infrastructure contracts, contracts where FIDIC is used, and contracts where the funding comes from development banks, even if they're not using FIDIC, you're going to find that they're going to be making use of dispute boards.
Can we get, a volunteer, someone to come and pick a lucky winner? So the lucky winner is Evans Ajeti from Bost.
Ghana remains one of the most exciting places for us as a firm, a jurisdiction for us as a business, and we remain committed to SAM as Pinson Masons to continue sponsoring these events and appearing here twice a year. Ghana has incredible advantages in its political stability, in its approach, in the confidence that the world market can have. And time again, I hear my clients, whenever I say I'm in Ghana or we're doing work in Ghana, saying that's a jurisdiction we should be in. So whatever you're doing right.